Good morning, dear students. So today I am here with a very humorous story of this from Beehive, that is Packing, which is written by Jerome K. Jerome. This particular chapter story is an extract from the novel Three Men in a Boat. If you get time, really, you read this novel. It is a very humorous novel about the author. Jerome Klapka Jerome was an English writer and humorist, best known for the comic travelogue Three Men in a Boat. And this particular chapter is extract from this novel only. Other works include the essay collections Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow and Second Thoughts of an Idle Fellow, Three Men on the Bummel, a sequence to Three Men in a Boat, and several other novels. In this video, we take a closer look at the summary of Packing by Jerome K. Jerome. So, before starting the summary of the chapter, I just want to give you a brief introduction about what is there in this chapter. This chapter is about the three friends Jerome, the narrator himself, George, and Harris. These three friends have decided to go on a journey in a boat, and for that journey, they are packing the things. So, this is just an episode of their packing, which is there in your chapter, and it's really an humorous one. So, the narrator of the story, Jerome, takes pride in his packing skills. He thinks he is a very good packer. He is supposed to go on a trip with his friends George and Harris. Boasting about his packing skills, he tells them to leave the whole matter of packing to himself. So, he asks his friends to leave everything to himself. He will do the packing, to which they readily agreed. And since they those two were quite lazy fellow, they agreed on what Jerome said, and they left the packing on him. So George sat on the easy chair and Harris cocked his legs on the table and watched Jerome do the packing. Cocked means putting one leg on the other, as you can see in the picture. But this wasn't what Jerome wanted. So when Jerome said that he is very good packer and he will pack the things, he did not mean to do the packing. He just wanted to supervise the things, but his friends took it differently and they sat in a very relaxed manner watching Jerome packing the things. When he said that he wanted to do all the packing himself, what he meant was that he was willing to be in charge of everything and direct his friends to work efficiently under his supervision. But his friends mistook him. He was really annoyed at them for just sitting about watching him work. So it was he was getting irritated by seeing both of them sitting and not helping him out. It was uncomfortable for Jerome to just sit idle and see another person work alone. So here in the chapter it is mentioned that he is a very hardworking. According to him, he is very hardworking. So hardworking doesn't mean that he always loved to work. Hard work means to supervise the work. So his energetic nature made him want to get up and superintend. That means to supervise the work. That's all. But he cannot sit idle like both of them. According to him, he is very hardworking man and he cannot sit idle like them. He used to get up when he sees somebody work. He used to get up, put his hands in his pocket, and just supervise. But Jerome didn't express his irritation to George and Harris. He didn't want to show them that he's feeling irritated and finally finished packing the bag, sat on it, and strapped it. Since he has overfilled the suitcase, so he has to sit on it and strapped it. You all must have seen in your home, especially the ladies, they are in a habit of putting lots of things in a bag, whether they have to go for 2 days or 4 days. But it's not always ladies, gents are also, they also do. So it is at this point that Harris pointed out that Jerome had forgotten to pack the boots in. So this was done purposely by Harris. He could have told him earlier also, but once he was about to strap the suitcase, he pointed out that he forgot to pack the boots. And just as he was going, sorry, so he had to open the bag again and pack his boots in. And just as he was going to close it, he doubted if he had packed his toothbrush. Many a times it happens with us, when we are done with the final packing and suddenly we forgot to keep the things, and brush is a very very common thing which people really forget to keep. Whenever he is about to travel, he sees in his dream that he hasn't packed his toothbrush. So, this toothbrush is a thing that haunts him. So, when he's about to travel, in his dream, it comes that he has forgotten to pack the toothbrush. Then he wakes up and goes on it, and then he starts searching for the toothbrush. Then in the morning, he packs it before he uses it, and then he has to unpack again and get it, and he repacks and forgets to put the toothbrush in again, and then he has to rush upstairs to fetch it, and he always ends up carrying the toothbrush wrapped up in his pocket handkerchief. This was like a tradition though. So now he has become, it was his habit, it has become his habit of forgetting the toothbrush whenever he does the packing. And this packing of toothbrush really haunts him. He used to have dreams about it, that he has forgotten to pack the toothbrush, and then he is packing it before using the toothbrush, then again he has to unpack. So it has become, as usual, Jerome had to search the whole bag only to find his toothbrush. In the course of finding his, he found George and Harris 18 times over. So while finding his brush, he found George and Harris' toothbrush 18 times, but he could not find his own toothbrush. But he couldn't find his own toothbrush. At last, he found it inside a boot, and he had to repack once more. After he was done, George asked him if the soap was in, but Jerome was so exhausted that he just didn't seem to care. So his friends were doing the things purposely. Again, he asked, when he has done with the packing, he asked, "Have you kept the soap or not?" So he said, "I don't care whether I have kept the soap now. Now I'm not going to unpack the things again." But after he strapped the bag again, he noticed that he had packed his spectacles inside, and he had to open the bag again. Then see what an humorous part. Now, when again he has done the packing, he just remembered that he has kept his spectacles inside, which he really needs. Now again he has to unpack the things to get his spectacles out from the bag. Finally, he finished packing at 10:05 p.m. and now George and Harris decided to do the rest. Now he is done with the packing. Now they have to pack some food items because they were going on a boat, so they decided to pack the food items. So now George and Harris, they took the responsibility to do the rest of the. They started their job in a fashion that indicated a sense of condescension. Condescension means showing superiority, that means they are better packer than Jerome, as if to show Jerome how to do it. So they were just wanted to show off that they know better packing than him. But Jerome just excited to see how they proceed. Now it was his turn to watch them do the packing. As he anticipated, they started with breaking a cup. So their packing started with breaking the things. Then Harris accidentally squashed a tomato by placing strawberry jam on top of it, and then he had to pick out the tomato with a spoon. Just imagine the packing they were doing. Moreover, George stepped on the butter. Now it was Jerome's turn to sit back and watch them, which irritated them. So he didn't inform them prior about any of the things. He was just noticing everything, and he was sitting and smiling. They stepped on things, put things behind them, and then they were unable to find them when they needed them. So they were in total chaos. They put the pie at the bottom and put heavy things on top of it, which ended up ruining the pies. They poured salt all over the place and did wonders with butter. After George got the butter off his slippers, they attempted to put in the kettle, but it wouldn't go in. See, once the butter has melted, how will you able to put it in the kettle? They were trying to do so, but they failed to. They somehow managed to scrap it out and put it down on a chair, but Harris sat on it. So anyhow, after taking it out from the slipper, he put it on the chair, that butter, and then Harris sat on the butter, and then they went around looking for it, and they were searching for the butter everywhere. After a lot of searching, George discovered that it was at the back of Harris the whole time, and finally they packed it in the teapot. So finally the butter was packed in a teapot. And then the dog Montmorency came into the scene only to add to the weird hilariousness of the whole situation. Montmorency was a notorious dog whose aim in life is to get in the way and be sworn at. So, Montmorency, it was his habit to interrupt and then get scolded for doing the mischief. He was a very mischievous dog. It is only when he gets screamed at that he feels that his day has not been wasted. So finally, when he gets a scolding in the whole day, that means he was really satisfied that his day was his day was not wasted. That means he has utilized his day in a very good way by getting a scolding. So, just when things were ready to be packed, he came into the room and sat on them. Whenever Harris or George extended their hand for anything, Montmorency made it a point that they reach for his nose. So, what he used to do, he thought that when George and Harris reached out for things to be packed, they were reaching out for his cold, wet nose and would bring it forward for them. He stepped, he put his leg into the jam, disorganized the teaspoons, and hampered the lemons. So, what he did, he stepped into the jam bottle, he shook the teaspoons, he acted as if the lemons were rats and stepped into the hamper to kill these rats. He was stopped by Harris again with, after beating him with frying pan. After uncountable obstacles and tremendous efforts, finally the packing was done at 12:50. Just imagine. Finally they were done with their packing at 12:50, and Harris sat on the hamper hoping that nothing was broken. What he did, he sat on the hamper, and you very well know what all things were there in the hamper: the cups, the plates, jam, lemons, butter, everything was there. George consoled himself and Harris by saying that if anything was found broken, then it is because it was already broken. So he was very sure that nothing will break, though he sat on it. And then he consoled himself. He made himself understand that if suppose anything breaks because of his sitting on the hamper, it was not because he sat on the hamper, it was just because it was already broken. They all were ready for bed now, and they decided to wake up at 6:30 a.m. So after doing the packing, they decided to go off to bed, and after so many discussions they decided that all of them will get up at 6:30 in the morning. And since George was very tired, he went to sleep. He was not the part of the discussion. So Harris and Jerome placed the bathtub next to George's bed. Harris and Jerome, they thought of a mischief, and they placed a bathtub next to George's bed. The intention was so that he would fall into out as he woke up, on the pretext that this way he would take a bath as soon as he got up. So their thought was that as soon as he will get up, he will tumble and fall into that bathtub, and in this way he will take the bath at the earliest. So here, with this, we come to the end of the chapter. Hope you have all of you have enjoyed the chapter. Please read the chapter, it's really funny, and whenever you get the time, please take out time to read the storybook novel, the novel Three Men in a Bottle. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye.